So it's been a while since I've done a video, but lately I've been busy with work during these times. I recently was furloughed at Red Lobster, and right now I'm doing a position over at a grocery store in the meat and seafood department, and I've been working my ass off lately. But just wanted to make it a topic of a video that is a controversial subject, but I think it's very relevant, especially nowadays with what I see with guys every day and their character and how they behave, and just my own personal experience growing up and what makes real men. Now, this is going to be something that's a bit of an answer to a question of why is there hardly any real men nowadays? Men who have a backbone, men who have a sense of direction, men who have strong sense of discipline and respect for others and are able to stand up on their own 2 feet and be able to carry themselves through life without much help of others and without having to go ahead and regress from the hardships and the struggles of life. Now, this is something for me, in my personal opinion. What is it that needs to be done or teach a young boy how to be a man? Well, this is the thing. In my opinion, only a man, a father, a positive male role model can teach a young boy, his son, or other young boys how to be men. Okay? But here's the problem. Why is there not so many real men nowadays? In my opinion, this is what I think, is because for the past few generations, a lot of young boys were not being raised by men. They're not having their fathers in their life. One of the main reasons why a lot of guys nowadays are wimps, a lot of guys have no backbone or sense of direction, and why a lot of guys are 30 or 40 years old and living at home is because who's often the person they're living with at that age? Their mother. This is going to be a controversial subject or topic for me to say, but women cannot raise young boys to become men. Okay? It's not possible. A woman trying to teach her son how to be a man, in my opinion, is like a cat trying to teach a puppy how to be a dog. It's not possible. See, men and women, we're totally different. We're not the same. We live in a society that thinks that, oh, men can be like women and women can be like men. And it's causing all this social and cultural disarray. You know, we have people who talk about, oh, you're transgender, you're cisgender, and all this other stuff. Okay. There are two genders that you're born with, male and female. All right? And then, of course, there's homosexuals and all that other stuff. But this is the thing. Men and women have been designed to be different. Okay? Women are more emotional. Men are more logical. Women are nurturers and caretakers. Men are protectors and providers. You know, men have been designed by nature throughout most of history to be the leaders, whereas women support men to become better versions of themselves and becoming leaders. Now, we don't have too many of those real men now because they don't have the role models, which is other real men, to teach them how to become men. What I've seen growing up is that a lot of guys around my age didn't have their fathers in their life. I've seen it pretty common now that most guys around my age, from high school, middle school, in college, they're mostly raised by their moms, and I see the results. See, women don't know how to teach young boys how to be men. They don't know how to teach boys how to have discipline, respect, a hard work ethic, and being able to also, this is what fathers are meant to do, is you got to go ahead and as a father, You have to go ahead and set up boundaries with your sons, in which sometimes you have to put a not necessarily beat them up, but give them a whiplash every once in a while when they're doing something in which they're basically fucking up. They make If your son is making mistakes and they're going in a bad direction in life, you need to put them in shape. You have to go ahead and lay down the gauntlet every once in a while. And that's what happened with me growing up. See, although my relationship with my father was complicated within recent years, he taught me a lot of great things. See, early on in my early years, I was mostly raised and mentored by my mom. Then by the time I was 11, 12 years old, my dad came more in the picture. My dad, he taught me a lot of great things in life on spirituality. I also, as I said before, having self discipline, having respect for other people, especially for older people, and even always wanting to develop a good work ethic. You develop honesty and truthfulness, all these other attributes. Now, I'm not saying that women cannot teach their son about this, but see, it's different when from a man's perspective than it's a woman's perspective. And see, back to discipline. A lot of moms, from what I see, they don't know how to discipline their sons and how to become men. Like, I remember, I'm not going to say who this guy's name is, but there's a friend of mine who grew up without having his dad in his life for most of his life. And he was mostly raised by his mom. And I remember he went down a path earlier on in which he had no discipline. He was selling drugs, selling marijuana out of his house, and he was not committing himself to anything as far as work, just moping around from one thing to the next, and just not very much of a sense of direction, and always just messing around with other girls. But then he had his father in his life. He started to hang out more with his dad. He moved over and over with his dad. His dad gave him a job working in carpentry, and he was able to make up for the time lost with his father. They're working for him and understanding about putting out honest, hard days' work and developing positive qualities to become a better man through that. And I experienced the same thing with my father, too. See, I worked for my dad for 6 years at his BMW auto mechanic shop, a lot more than just how to work on cars, but also just, as I said, putting in an honest, hard day's work. You're thorough, and and also customer service, business skills. A lot of things I couldn't learn in high school or even from my own mom. But see, a lot of guys nowadays don't have that. I mean, this is what I see is that another thing about it is that men consider women to be more valuable and more important than they are in life. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, this is what it is. I've heard this so many times. It's better to be pussy whipped than pussy less. This is something that's pretty common, I've heard. Guys willing to put themselves in a relationship in which their girlfriend or wife is bossing them around, always nagging them, putting them down, saying that you're no good, you're an idiot, and blah, blah, blah. But you still stick with that woman because you're afraid and scared to death of being alone. Because you want to go ahead and value yourself less than that woman. And that woman that you're with and having a relationship with is giving you a sense of value in your life. Well, my response to that is this. I would much rather be a free stallion than a castrated show horse. Okay? This is what I come to. I'm not willing to submit myself that way to anyone, not just a woman, but for anybody. Okay? I'm realizing now at this point in my life is that I am my own boss. I am the most important thing in my life. My goals, my sense of personal development, and moving forward in that direction is the most important thing. And that I need to surround myself with other people who understand and support me for who I am and where I'm going. And that involves the same with who I just choose to develop a relationship with, as far as being in a relationship with a woman. But see, guys don't have that nowadays. It's like I see this. Instead of the guys driving the girlfriends around the car, the girlfriend's driving the guy around. Instead of having the man walk ahead of the woman's walking ahead of the man. Or even this. I've seen this several times with a few couples. Instead of having the man have the final authority on making decisions, the woman has the final authority. And I think that has a lot to do, getting back to this, is that most guys nowadays were raised by their moms. And a lot of times that leads, this is what I think. When a man is mostly raised by his mother, he sees women as the authority figure in his life. Whereas if he is mostly raised by his father, he sees men as being the authority figure in life. So that gives him a sense of backbone and confidence, understanding I'm the one who leads the way. I am the prize in life. Another thing, this is what I've been looking into. This might be controversial, a subject to research on, but I've been understanding more about what is it that makes women attracted to men from guys who are former pimps. There's this one interview, and I've seen videos of this guy. He has his own channel on YouTube called Rosebud Bitter Dose or Real Talk with Rosebud. This guy was a retired pimp who was pimping for 20 years. And his style was he did not go ahead and physically abuse women. He didn't use drugs. He only he pimped women because of his swagger and personality. Because he was, as he calls himself, I am the prize. I don't need you. I want to be with you, but I don't need you. That's their approach with women. Now, if you're going to go and mess with me, you have to go ahead and work for me and bring me my money. But that can apply in a way to a relationship. You can say, if you're going to be with me, you have to bring things to the table in my relationship. So if you don't have anything valuable to bring to the table, then I don't have to be with you. And I remember in this one interview of that Rosebud Bitter Dose a few years back, and he talked about when he was young, he had a brother who always had all the girls, and because he dressed real nice, he had a flavorful swagger personality, and women were always calling up his house every single day when they were growing up. And in the interview, during that time when they were young, he asked his brother one day, so how come you always get all the girls? How come all the women want you? And his brother says something that made sense. Women want what they can't have. That made me think. If I want women to become attracted to me, then I have to be the prize. I have to go ahead and put myself at higher importance than to have to be in a relationship. I have to develop a good relationship with myself. and have an understanding of thorough direction of who I am if I'm going to attract the right type of woman. But see, realizing this, I did not get this from other women. I got this from other men. So, what is it that we can do to correct all this problem? Well, we need to have the fathers raise boys again. Let the men become a more so part of a young man's life. For you ladies that complain about, oh, where's all the real men, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're part of the problem because you raise these boys to be wimps. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to teach a young boy how to be a man. Just like a cat doesn't know how to teach a puppy how to be a dog. Let the dogs raise the puppies and let the cats raise the kittens. Let the men raise the boys and let the women raise the girls. That's what I think would be appropriate. Okay? That's how I would want to approach my marriage and raising a family. Is that I want to be responsible for raising the boys. And that my wife, the mother of my children, is responsible for raising the girls. Of course, we'll have some say in between, but I think that's what's really going to cause more so development of real men now. Okay? I mean, I wish I can go back to the days in which I was more so able to see real men in movies and TV shows and all that. And because I don't see that now. I see in commercials and TV shows and movies and popular culture, men are just straight up pussies. There's not very many male role models that are strong, real men. Like one guy I think in popular culture that I think was a real man who was the dude was James Bond. But I'm talking about old school James Bond with Sean Connery. Have you guys ever seen those old school James Bond movies of Sean Connery playing James Bond? That dude was the man. Very smart and intelligent, self confident, knows who he is and what he does for a living, and has a sense of purpose. Always knows how to get out of a bad situation. And he always got the women, and the women loved him. That's more so a male role model for me. Not all these pussies and fags that are out nowadays. Okay? And I honestly think that this generation is filled with a lot of pussification and faggotry. You know? People are just way too soft and sensitive nowadays, especially guys. And I just don't identify with most of what's going on. But I digress. I have to be responsible for developing myself as a man. Okay? So if you guys want to go and understand more so about what real men development or whatever, I mean, I have some guys I check out on YouTube or other recommendations that you guys can check out if you're interested. Just go and ask in the comments, or I'll just put it in the comments and I'll go ahead and introduce it to you guys. I mean, there are things that you might not agree with everything with what the people I follow are saying, but they have some cool gems within it. So, guys, what can I say from this video is that if you're mostly raised by your mom, you got a lot of things to overcome, okay? You got to deprogram yourself with the feminization and becoming a softie that was laid down by your mom. Go ahead and find yourself some proper male role models to follow after. Read books on self-development as men. Watch guys on YouTube in the alpha sphere or the manosphere, which I love checking out myself. I check it out almost every single day because I want to develop myself as a man. Because once you become a real man, you become the boss of your own life. You don't have to take shit from nobody. because you only answer to yourself. And I've been living my life this way for a while. I mean, I answer to people who have more knowledge and experience than I do, actually have something to say. But anybody else? No. A real man, I understand, is someone who is their own boss and who doesn't let others determine who he is. He determines who he is. A real man sees women as not necessarily being the ultimate source of value and sense of confidence in life. He does. A woman is like a treat. A woman is someone that can help to build you to become a man, but you have to build yourself up to become a man. Just my thoughts on that subject. I might have left out some other things. I might do a part 2 of this video. So until next time, of course, like, share, and subscribe. Leave anything in the comments if you agree with what I have to say, if you want to debate, and share. And I'll see y'all next time. I'll also put in some links to channels I follow as far as development in the manosphere and alpha sphere. So you guys can go and check it out and see what you can absorb from it. Anyways, peace out, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. And good night.